Good evening, Congressman. It's great to have you on the program.
Grant, great to be with you this evening.
All right. First off, maybe I should ask you, where do you stand? You know, it's quiet talk about the debt ceiling being raised. Are you making a decision on this yet? Where do you think the House is? Can they agree with whatever comes out of the Senate on this?
Well, we'll definitely see what the Senate decides to do. So we actually included the debt ceiling increase in our budget reconciliation package that we passed last month. And like you said, I mean, I've never supported debt ceiling increases. But what's happened, and I look at this as kind of like a business decision as a business guy. You know, we took over a company that was struggling and the management was bad. We fired them. And there's a lot of leftover bills that have to be paid. And so instead of filing bankruptcy, we were able to borrow some money to pay that debt off. But I'll tell you, I mean, I'm a budget hawk. In fact, that's why I ran again for office after being here from 2010 to 2016, the debt and deficit's just out of control. And we actually had a really good meeting today down at the White House. And that was one of the things that I shared with President Trump there in the Oval Office, is that I ran again because when I left, Grant, just for quick context, 2010, when I was first elected, we had $9 trillion of debt. When I left in 17 after Obama years, we had right at 18 trillion, and today it's 36. So it's in the debt service on that, the cost of the insurance on the debt is more than what we put into our military. So while I don't like the idea of increasing the debt ceiling, I do believe that what the DOGE team is doing, what President Trump is saying about getting to a balanced budget is the only reason why I would support it. And it's a lot of trust in the president that we're going to get back to balanced budgets and reducing our debt.
Well, this has exactly been my position as well. I'm putting trust in the man that brought me to the dance, brought us to the dance, and has proven to be correct all the way around. Let me play a clip from his spokesperson, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, and I want to get your input to see if you talked about the idea of tariffs with the president today. Roll, Caroline.
Tariffs work, and President Trump is proving that every single day when new companies from around the world are pledging to invest billions of dollars in the United States of America and our workforce. Today, we had Hyundai announcing $20 billion in American investment, $5 billion in the great state of Louisiana to build a steel plant. Why? Because President Trump has implemented a 25% tariff on steel.
Congressman, I could go down a list of billions of dollars of investment coming into this country. I believe because of the tariffs. I was skeptical of the tariffs. Did you talk about that with the president today? Where do you think we're headed with all of that?
Yeah, actually, I did, because the 3rd District in Indiana, Northeast Indiana, Fort Wayne, South Bend, Warsaw area, we're one of the heaviest manufacturing regions in the country. And I did talk to some Steel Dynamics executives. I talked to some folks at AM General and others that are in manufacturing. And actually, it's been helpful. The tariffs have brought more business to the United States because companies don't want to pay those tariffs. They're willing to bring the jobs here, the work here to the United States. So, you know, for the most part, you know, manufacturing, it will be a benefit. But I talked to our ag folks as well. I come from a farming background. It's a little bit more uncertain in agriculture, but I think the offset is that you're going to see better policy when it comes to deregulation. You're going to see energy policy that's going to benefit the American economy, the American farmer and manufacturing, and of course, the tax policy. And that's one of the things that Trump is committed to, making sure that we extend the Trump tax cuts. So the overall environment's going to be better for us as Americans. And with the tariffs, I think the ultimate goal is look, if you're going to tariff us, we're going to tariff you. And at some point, you want to have a conversation about reducing tariffs down to nothing. I think that's on the table. So I think Trump is really going the right direction and using tariffs as a tool to get to free trade.
Look, it's going to bring in a lot of money, no matter how you slice it. There's going to be a lot of money coming in. You hear Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, talk about the External Revenue Service. I love hearing that. Is the number or the amount of money that could be brought in with tariffs, is that included in the budget projections when you're working on this budget, or is that going to just be an extra?
No, and that's something that is being discussed because we have to work with Congressional Budget Office. I say we have to. A lot of us say that we the information, the data that we're getting from the CBO and the scoring that they do doesn't take in the dynamic scoring model where you actually you include the growth in the economy. And in this case, they don't include tariff revenue as well. But I'm hearing that we're going to start using some of those numbers to be included because and also just dynamic growth. If we extend the tax cuts, the Trump tax cuts that expire at the end of this year beyond, there is a benefit. There's an economic benefit to the economy because the more money we leave in the private sector, then not through Washington, it's going to grow more than what it ever would. We actually had Ray Dalio, who was here today, and he handed out this book to us to the members that attended. But he talked about the debt being a noose around our neck, and it's a matter of time. And so you have to cut spending, increase the revenues through economic growth, and also make sure we deal with the cost of interest. So it's serious stuff that's coming right at us.
Well, I'm so glad you're talking about it, Congressman Stutzman. And I, like you, have been a big critic of CBO, the Congressional Budget Office, dealing with not looking at reality as when you increase the amount of taxpayers, when you increase income for people and they pay more tax, not because the rate went up, but because their incomes went up. All of that has to be taken into account. And it's not ever, and that's a real problem. But, hey, I appreciate you coming on. I'm glad you met with the president today, and I'm glad you filled us in on it. Marlon Stutzman, thank you.
You bet. Thank you, Grant. Great to be with you.